Good day. This is Dr. Richard Hanson, mostly known for Gaming with Doc, the YouTube channel that started by teaching people how to play this game as I learned how to play it myself. On the screen, what you see now is the beginnings. This is grass fields where you have one of your starter locations. You'll notice that machines are built on the grass and they are in no real organization. There's conveyor belts everywhere. This isn't as bad as I've seen some, but it's pretty beginner. You even see, I've progressed through. I'm almost at phase 4 in this particular build. There's a train that meanders through and it's built on the ground as well. There's a copper mine over there. There's all kinds of things. But you'll notice also that there's some very interesting things, like there's a Mercer sphere up here that I was never collected after playing nearly 400 hours in this game. I want to tell you of the things that I missed that could have made my gameplay better had I known how to play the game. And so this tutorial is a really no holds barred tutorial to tell you from a gamer's experience after nearly 2,000 hours in the game, how to get a great start so that your experience can be fantastic. So let's get started. All right, quick pit stop before we dive in. This is the important part. This tutorial is part of the Master the Game series brought to you by PingPlayers.com, one of the best server hosting platforms out there for Satisfactory and over 40 other games. They've built something really solid. Ultra-low latency, mod support, instant setup, and even an AI assistant that helps you launch your own server in seconds. Big thanks to PingPlayers for supporting this series and helping new players jump into the game right away. So let's get into it. First, we have to kind of rewind the tape and show you where you actually start the game. A new game presents you with grass fields as the selected choice here. The grass fields is generally the best choice for new players. A little bit more complex is the rocky desert, and more experienced goes to the northern forest, and then you can go to the dune desert if you really want a challenge. Now, I would suggest that you start on the grass fields. It's rich with resources, and you generally have a nice wide open place to build. So give it a name. So we're going to start in the grass fields. It's asking for a confirmation. We're not going to skip the onboarding. We have no advanced settings enabled. That allows you to give yourself resources, basically a whole batch of cheat codes that you can use. This session is going to be single player versus multiplayer, and we'll confirm here and get going.
Separation from main transport complete. Group aid delivered to Calistian region. Ration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable.
You'll notice that Ada, while she assists you, she insults you as well. So using the WASD keys like you would normally in a lot of games.
Congratulations. You are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, ABB, in the binary system of Akicha.
Okay. So what we're going to be told to do is...
First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien Megapana. Adhere to Fix-It procedure and equip the Fix-It Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
Okay. So we're going to go to our inventory, and we have a Xeno Zapper here. We'll put that in our hands as instructed.
Next objective, dismantle the drop pod. Fix-It incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub.
Okay, so dismantling the drop pod is your first task. It puts some resources in your...
Next objective, use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
Okay, so we're supposed to find iron, we're supposed to build the hub. So holding V allows you to scan to find out where some iron is. And they're 267 meters away. We should be able to go there. So when you get sent to the grassy fields, the first place, now these barrel nuts actually are edible. You'll be able to find that out. Your first mines are going to be right up here on top. There they are right there. In order to actually build the mines, on the mines, you have to start mining manually. If you tap E, it'll continue to automatically mine for you.
Next objective, use the build gun to construct the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources. Fix it does not pay by the kilometer.
Fix it does not pay by the kilometer. Oh, that's so funny. So we can get this node off the top. Now you can't build on here with a miner until you get that node off of here. Now, when we look in our bags here, in our inventory, we have some iron, and we have some the barrel nuts that we've collected so far, and we have, of course, the Xeno Zapper in our hand. And that's to protect us against monsters. Now, I do generally recommend that, especially in your first playthrough, when you go to gameplay here, you hit the escape key, go to options, and go to gameplay. If you put it on passive mode, the monsters won't attack you. The hogs and the spitters and the spiders, they call them stingers in this game. They're actually spiders, or six-legged spiders, basically. And then there's the bee-like things that hatch out of a round ball that if you get too close to them, they hatch and then they start stinging you. So I recommend you leave it on passive, because I like to build. I don't care about killing all the creatures around there. And then go ahead and keep your inventory. Set your inventory to keep everything, so that if you do die, you fall off a cliff or something, or you keep creature hostility on normal. If you do die, you still keep what's in your inventory, and you don't have to go back to where you were before to find your, what they call a death crate, and then be able to pick up your goods that were in your inventory from that death crate. These two settings make it a whole lot more convenient. So I'm going to click on resume game. And if I go to my build menu here, it says I can build the hub here. Okay. So right now it says that I need 65 resources. Notice there's not much to the hub at this point. We're going to upgrade that hub quite a bit. We just have to get it enough on enough of a flat surface to build. And there we go. So the first frame of the hub is
Hub foundation built.
Available.
The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 1.
Okay. So what is Hub Upgrade 1? Okay, you're going to be interacting with the hub terminal here quite a bit. The hub terminal will tell you what your upgrades are. And Hub Upgrade 1 here means that you need to have some iron rods. Well, we've already collected a little bit of iron. Okay, once we are able to collect a little bit of iron, we can make rods, and we can do the Hub Upgrade 1. So we'll select milestone, and it'll put it up here in the corner so that you can remember what you're focused on. Now, the crafting bench here allows you to create iron ingots out of the ore that we've already created. If you tap the space bar here, don't hold it down, but tap it, it'll just keep producing the iron ingots for you. Okay, so now we've created iron ingots, and you noticed as I created iron ingots that the iron rod number kept going up. That is the first upgrade. So I'm going to go click that, and I'm going to make 10 iron rods. And in doing that, well, see, I already got 26, and I didn't hardly even do much. Now I can turn over here to the hub terminal. I can go ahead and double click over here, and I can click upgrade the hub. Okay, so this is the basic game progression.
Hub Upgrade 1, storage and frame completed.
Okay, so it'll walk you through creating each of these upgrades. These upgrades are called tiers, and at each different batch of tiers, there's a what they call a phase, okay? So we'll get through the hub upgrade, then we'll go through the tier 1 upgrades, and then we'll do phase 1. Now, phase 1 starts the space elevator, so we can save all the puppies and kittens back on Earth. So the whole idea is to continue upgrading items. So this much information should get you started. Now, the next section, I'm going to teach you about all the things that I wish I knew when I first started my quest in Satisfactory nearly 2,000 play hours ago. That brings me back to the first save. You see a lot of things going on here. It's kind of disorganized, but later on in the game, I did get a little bit more organized, and you see a building up here that has a lot of factory equipment in it and makes a lot of really good things. But there are a lot of things that I didn't do early on that I really wish I could have. And basically, I want to show you a few of those items. First off, there's a humble little thing called a slug over here. And you notice, even though I've made good progress in this game, here's a slug right in the middle of my space that I never collected because I really didn't see the value or importance of collecting those slugs. Well, the value and importance of collecting a slug is all the slugs, and there's 3 different kinds. There's the blue, which is the lowest kind. There's yellow, which is next highest up, and there's purple. The value of collecting those is a thing called power shards. As you progress in the game, you get to overclock your machines with power shards. Now you have to get up into the later tiers in order to get to the point of, actually into the middle tiers, before you get to the point of being able to overclock your machines. But collecting the slugs at the beginning and making them into power shards as soon as you can boosts your productivity in a great, huge way. Now, that brings me to another thing. Over here in the distance, up here, is a thing called a Mercer sphere. Just sitting out here in the open, and I never collected it. I don't know why. I didn't really know about Mercer spheres and how important they were. Later on, you get to open up a thing called a dimensional depot. And at the time you open up the dimensional depot, you'll wish you had a whole bunch of these things. And they're just laying around for you to pick up. They're not hard to see, not hard to find, but after a while, you just bump into them. Oh, there's another Mercer sphere. Let's go pick that up. Put them in your inventory and save them for later. So as things progress, you get all of these type of things. And there's another device that you really ought to focus on. And that is a thing called a MAM. Okay, so I've traveled over to where I have the hub and the MAM and the equipment workshop and probably another workbench somewhere around here close by stuff. But this is the MAM. And they call it the MAM, which stands for Molecular Analysis Machine. So the MAM is a place where you can do research into cool devices. And oh, I have a hard drive that I had put in here to be scanned. And that, of course, brings up another question, which I'll come to a bit later. Let's look at the rest of what we're doing here now. But see, here is where you can get alien technology, for example. And here, have your Mercer spheres. Here is where you want to collect, when you find them, summer sloops. Summer sloops are incredible for power later on in the game. And Mercer spheres are incredible for creating dimensional depots. Now notice, my first playthrough, I didn't research any of this stuff. I didn't really know that it was a thing. So you start with SAM, which is strange alien matter. So you get the SAM ore and you can create other things with the SAM ore. You reanimate the SAM, you create all kinds of different things with it. Now, by doing that, you get more benefits and the game is a lot easier to play. And if you're unlocking things as you go in the progress in the game, even in tier 1 and tier 2, they give you alternate recipes and help you to move forward in the game much, much faster. If you find a Caterium mine, for example, but Caterium allows you better power poles, you'll get frustrated with those Mark 1 power poles. Mark my word on that one. But Caterium. You'll find mycelia in certain places, and by finding the mycelia, you can research a lot of these things. And in fact, you can especially research bombs that blow things up and help you to get through rocks and so forth like that. Here's the power slugs. I've researched everything except the synthetic power shards, but I can make any kind of power shard except for the synthetic ones. Later on in the game, you unlock the recipes for synthetic power shards, which really benefits you a lot because there's only just so many slugs. And if you create a large world with a lot of machines, you're going to need more power shards than what you can put into a machine to make out of slugs. Then you have your quartz tree that you can research and the sulfur tree, which you can research. Now, because of all of these things that I didn't know, my progression was very, very slow when I played the game the first time. And being slow, it can be very, very frustrating. So do research in the map and get the items unlocked as quickly as possible. Killing creatures along the way, okay? So what about hard drives? What are those things? Hard drives are found where you find wrecked cargo containers. Now, when you send your things that you've made up to the space station, this cargo ship takes the container that you fill up when you put the stuff in the hub terminal. It takes it up and it sends it to the space station. Well, there's a bunch of these crashed all over the world. And Ada reminds you that you're not supposed to question why all of those crashed freighters are there, but they are. And you don't actually hear the reason why that they're there, other than the fact that, you know, when you're first dropped off, they kind of give you the idea that you're not the first pioneer that's ever been here, and others have failed before you, type of thing. So, what is a wreck? Well, let me go find one and show it to you. Okay, so what I've done is I've flown over to a wreck that happened to be fairly close to the factory that I had built in this first go around. And a wreck typically looks something like this. You've got a large pod here and you've got pieces of it strewn all over, okay? Now, there are valuable pieces like the concrete here, and if you keep looking around, well, there's some reinforced iron plate, which is useful. And you've got rebar here. And you've got some wire there. And you've got rotors here and pipes here. Okay. And then once you've collected all the goodies around it, then you can take and deconstruct or dismantle various pieces of it, and you'll get the plates, the wire, and the cable from dismantling this item. So go ahead and dismantle each of the pieces and you get more resources that way, and dismantle this piece. Sometimes you'll find pieces of the wreck down below, even though the wreck happened up here. Sometimes you'll find pieces of the wreck down below as well. So deconstruct all those pieces. This won't let you deconstruct until the hard drive is gone out of it. So let me show you how to get the hard drive. Yep, I had already taken the hard drive out of this. And this one gives you reinforced iron plate, gives you some modular frames and some heavy modular frames. So that's real good. So I'll deconstruct that. Now, if the hard drive had been in there, if we look at my inventory, it would have looked like this. And that then is put into the MAM, and it has alternate recipes. Now, those alternate recipes can be of value. They make things a lot simpler. Some of them do. And some of them, because they make your life simpler, make it easier to produce things either faster or with less resources to put in there. So it's really, really good that as you're going and investigating, sometimes what I would do is I would take time to just go out and investigate, just go out and explore. And I'd find Mercer spheres, I'd find summer sloops, I'd find beasts to kill. And then I'd bring all that stuff and I would unlock different things in the MAM. So coming along in Tier 2, The MAM, of course, being unlocked in Tier 1. When you progress to Tier 2, it allows you to unlock a device that I'm showing here on the screen. It's called a sink. A sink is a great way to make sure that you can get some value out of those extra products that you've already made. So in being able to sync them, you get coupons. And the coupons allow you then to print them, to tear them off and put them in your inventory, just like that. And then you get to come over here to a thing called an awesome shop. Now, Ada has some wonderful snarky comments concerning the awesome shop about it being the greatest store on the planet. Well, it's the only store on the planet, of course, and it's the only place you can put your Fix-It coupons in. So to interact with the awesome shop, you get this wonderful interface, and you can buy tons of great stuff, like conveyor wall holes and conveyor floor lifts and all kinds of different items that you don't normally just unlock by themselves. Like, for example, you can get a clean pipeline here where you get regular pipes in by unlocking them, but you get clean pipes here. You get variations on some of the items that are in there. Organization, this allows you to buy different sign bundles, different lighting, different storage containers, shelf units, and those type of things. And you can buy paint finishes. You can buy different foundations, walls, architecture. It's a place for you to buy the goodies, so to speak. Now, the sink comes with basically two major benefits. The first one I just told you about. You can buy stuff with it in the awesome shop once you get the coupons. The second, though, is sometimes, at least later in the game, you'll have a machine that has a byproduct. In other words, you'll put stuff in and it will give you the thing that you want out and a byproduct, another thing that you can use in another process. Sometimes you don't have that process set up or don't want to. So you can use a sink to make sure that that line keeps moving so that it doesn't stop up your machine, because when the byproduct stops up and the machine can't get rid of it, it doesn't continue to function. So a sink has two major benefits. The one, it allows your machines to keep running when they've got a byproduct. And two, you get these awesome coupons that you can then put into the awesome shop and get other goodies. Now, one thing that I told you about in that other world that I was showing you is that in the MAM, I had never unlocked anything related to alien megafauna. Well, there's a whole tree, and the first thing you unlock is research for hog remains, research with spitter remains, hatcher remains. The hatchers are those bee-like things. The stingers are the spider-like things, and the spitters are they look a lot like hogs, but they spit at you if you have it on normal instead of passive. You research each one of those, and then you come down here and you can make DNA capsules. DNA capsules get you a lot of points in the sink to get a major number of coupons. Now, once you've unlocked everything down the way here, it does allow you to get a lot of good things like a rebar gun and a iron rebar and medicinal inhalers and equipment slots and so forth. It gets you a lot of benefits down here. But once you've unlocked all those things, you have no use for those remains. And because you have no use for those remains, use your sink to get a ton of points and start putting them in early in the game, and you can buy a bunch of good stuff. Sometimes in some places you actually buy other recipes for other elements that you cannot unlock in your tiers or phases. So do be aware. Awesome Shop and the sink are great tools to use. Okay, so while I give you a view of my latest build, it's not really a factory. It's just built in the open air. I started in the Dune Desert, which was for the experienced explorers and pioneers. But this is my world right now. You can see a coal factory off in the distance. You can see some oil refineries and oil generated power plants over there. You can see some various items being built over here. and a train station up on top of that building. A lot of fun stuff that I've been able to put together. This particular world I deliberately spread out. Other worlds I put in mega factories and large factories within buildings. I like to start over. I like to do what I can in one run and then start over again and do it in another run. I love to do that because every time I do it, I'll go to a different place and I'll use even the same places differently in the game. The game has so many possibilities. When you explore other people who build on YouTube, some of them have beautiful factories. Others of them have very functional factories like I built here. And all of us have a place. If you like to play functional and just get through the tiers, great. Some people love to explore and collect all the Mercer spheres, all the summer sloops and all the slugs and use them and get the benefits out of them. Other people just love to build endless conveyors across the desert and across their lands. Others like to build trains. It's a world that is totally a sandbox where you can build it any way you want. There is a story and there's a progression line, which makes the game absolutely great. And that's one of the reasons I love it. So if you like what you see here, buy the game, enjoy the game, come to Gaming with Doc and see what I've built and explore other people who have posted stuff on YouTube. You'll really enjoy the environment and the community that we've all developed here. So hope to see you again later. Thanks for coming. Bye.